I wish to say that Korean ladies are among the world's most cunning, calculating, and oppressive women. Since I was in high school, I have been suffering from megalomania. I dated a woman who, as a self-described hippie, was soon to be out of my league. She was personable, gifted, and gorgeous. I can only imagine the satisfaction and salivation she felt knowing that my heart was on a platter for her to devour for the following 2 years. I was so whipped from the start that on the first date night I came home, after the first kiss, and recorded a selfie video about how I'm in heaven and how I can't believe I kissed an angel. She admitted to accidentally hooking up with another guy at a party event, shamelessly flirted and caressed other males in front of me, and then broke up with me because her feelings for her ex-boyfriend had come back over winter break. Writing this makes me depressed, and I feel guilty about how easily I was stomped by women. However, after viewing a few films, I was moved to share this with you and the MGTOW community in order to serve as a reminder of exactly how potent and blinding the vagina is. It goes without saying that all of my former girlfriends eventually cheated on me. What's fascinating, however, is this. I've dated a few Korean girls as well as a few Caucasians, but only Korean girls have ever openly admitted to cheating in a relationship. I had a recent connection with a Korean woman, and I believed I had discovered it in a wart. She was adorable and gave me praises like "you're so manly" and "you're not like all the other guys." She was also poofy, down to earth, and appeared to be unmaterialistic. However, after dating her for about a year, she gradually started to show her true colors. She started to do things like never pick up the phone and call you back a short while later instead of intoxicating herself at mandatory company events that went late into the night 3 times a week, and flirtatious Facebook messages from her male coworkers started to appear on her page. But I was still unable to see the truth, like a muffin circle encircled by a spider's web. The only reason I emerged from this Mamlakamo was when I learned from a friend that she was working on it with some of my college friends in addition to her coworkers. At the end of the day, I held myself responsible for the mental illusion. She was certainly manipulating and lying, but it was also partly because I didn't want my ideal to come to an end, because we were flawed. And I have a suspicion that even the most perceptive toads have blind spots and can be taken advantage of by the most patient female predators, who watch their victims for years before stinging them to death. When they find that particular blind spot and the vaginal beam is so potent that the man still believes he has mental control over it. That's presumably why homosexual men are friend-zone mandanas are kept around by ladies who want to gain insight into the psychology of men. I believe that guys should do the same thing by keeping a particularly unattractive girl around to, essentially, smell females. In order for this to work, she would need to be entirely flexible. Your ex's refusal to acknowledge infidelity proves to me that Asian women are more cunning and adept at disguising their actions than Caucasian and Indian women. In terms of red flags, the crazy flag comes first. If it's the last thing you do, don't have sex with a lady if she starts acting crazy as soon as you start dating her. A lady will start treating you like dog poo after a month or 2 of dating or being in a relationship because she knows you love her. Ironically, she has to treat you nicely before you start to like her. However, she treats you badly once she discovers you're addicted. On a 1-year anniversary, I was reminded all the horrible things I was doing and that I needed to change. Sometimes it takes longer than a few months. When a woman is in her 30s, she is frequently desperate to become pregnant and will do anything to have sex as soon as possible with a man who has decent genetics. They frequently lack reason and refuse to use condoms. And becoming pregnant is all they seem to care about. The pill or STD condoms are irrelevant to them. That raises the suspicion in my mind that you're merely a baby factory. A lady in her late 20s or early 30s who has no or little money saved is another significant warning sign. You are her financial backup plan if she doesn't have one. To obtain alimony and child support, even if that means getting married to you or getting pregnant, so be it. Women who are struggling financially know that finding a man is the only way they can live comfortably. Red flags can only be concealed by women who are extremely submissive and appear dumb or bashful. I'm most afraid of those women because you never know what lurks behind the surface. If she claims to be shy, Yet you observe her acting outgoing. Until you're neck deep in it, you'll never understand what she's thinking. The irony is that this is both the best and worst lady to date, since she is concealing seeks, and having sex too soon is another red flag. She knows how to be submissive and allow a man to dominate her if she controls a relationship psychologically. She's plainly a carousel rider, and if she wants it before you do, either she doesn't value herself or she's trying to emotionally lock you in as soon as possible. But he's willing to give her body over to someone she hardly knows. Consider how frequently she has done that in the past. Women are like roller coasters, according to the poet Turd Flinging Monkey. The ride is brief, and there is frequently a line of men waiting to board the ride behind you. There are so many warning signs that I could spend the entire day listing them for you. But as you date more, you'll notice more of these warning signs, to the point where you start to view all women as liars and con artists who employ the same strategies. In the past, men and women dated fewer individuals before getting married. So, like most males, I knew nothing about the nature of women. You may either love women, or you can understand them. Therefore, of course, when a man eventually receives the divorce papers, he is utterly startled, because the men knew nothing about women to begin with. She never calls you and expects you to call her constantly, so you can't include the other two red flags. Speaking to an ex-boyfriend typically indicates that she wants to rekindle her relationship with him, and that you are merely keeping the seat warm. Like those Oscars that fill the seats when the famous person needs to go potty. Once the famous person returns, they are immediately taken away. I discovered that the trick to dating now is to write down all the warning signs and keep note of how frequently they occur until their regularity and seriousness make them impossible to ignore. It's time to eject by pulling the ripcord. From there, it's just going to quickly decline and crush. And the arguments normally start when you start pointing out red flags to her. Additionally, it is tough to stop noticing the red flags once you become aware of them. She is concealing herself from you and not communicating if she is silent and obedient. All females lack common sense. If they aren't, they are simply sitting there so as not to draw attention to their illogical reasoning. They typically feel ashamed of being women, which hurts their self-esteem. Additionally, it is detrimental to someone's self-esteem if they have a low self-esteem. To help us, please watch this video. Please subscribe and send this video to anybody you think will benefit from it the most.